Hey Snapchat, coming to you on day 3 of my Snapstorm covering negotiations. The first 2, if you missed them, will be published online. Day 1 was about preparing for the negotiation, understanding what you want, what they want, and who the key decision makers are on the other side. Day 2 was about anchoring, setting a range so the other side understands the negotiating parameters. Today is about how to conduct the initial negotiation itself. A start of a negotiation often is that the parties produce a paper with their positions. If it's not a formal paper for negotiations, at a minimum you should write like a term sheet, like document to discuss. Now here's the single biggest mistake people make. They negotiate piecemeal. The reason you make this mistake is you work through the document and you try to negotiate each point as it comes up. The best way to handle this is to learn from lawyers. Lawyers understand how not to negotiate piecemeal. I'll explain. Lawyers always start from a position of, let me hear what all your points are first before we come back. Because lawyers are used to drafting documents, they hear all your points and they come back with a comprehensive written response. The reason you don't want to negotiate piecemeal is you start negotiating point by point. There may be more substantive points for you to weigh in on. So even when you're discussing it verbally, the way to respond is listen to the other side as they explain each individual issue and simply state out loud to them, listen, I'm not going to jump in and respond to each point. I just want to hear what all your points are first. I like to set expectations in a negotiation. The basis of a negotiation is neither side's going to get exactly what they want. But if we each make appropriate compromises, we both should get what we need, and it should be win-win. Another common mistake in negotiations is assuming that everything needs to be 50-50. People call it, for some reason, splitting the baby. What I tell people is when you learn all of the points the other side cares about, ask them what's most important and listen. No negotiations happen without some amount of compromise on your side, so you need to be thoughtful about that before you start. You simply have to create some padding. Some things that you know you're going to be able to give in on when the negotiations start. If you don't give in on anything, you won't seem reasonable. So with padding, it's easier to give on some points. And of course, if there's asymmetric power, one side's going to have to give more than the other. But also be aware that even with padding, there's chances you're going to have to make some tough choices about what you compromise on. In a future post, I'm going to talk about how to be creative in a negotiation. But for now, I'm going to go enjoy my weekend.